Welcome to the Divine Connection Podcast. I'm your host, Cristina Aroche, and together we are walking the path of discovering your true self and the alignment with your soul. Through these conversations, you will experience a deeper level of connection with yourself and the universe, and most importantly, you will trust in your spiritual journey ahead. Let's begin. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Divine Connection Podcast. Today, we are diving into a conversation all about holding space and what that means. And so this was inspired by a question that was received from the audience. And the question is very simple. And it says, what does holding space mean to you? I've recently uncovered differences in how I and others hold space. Thank you, Cristina, with gratitude. So this is such a great question. And I love diving into this because I feel like even though it may be a simple term or something that is often said to hold space, I'm holding space for you, I need to hold space for myself, that kind of a thing, there's actually a lot of depth, I feel, when it comes to holding space. So I want to get into that with you today and share what it means to be holding space, how we can hold space for people, how we can become better at holding space, and also share something special with you if you are wanting to develop your ability to bring through healing by holding space and in general to bring through this divine energy in your everyday life. So let's dive in. To me, when it comes to holding space, one of the first things that I think of, and there's different parts and different perspectives that I want to break down for you. So the first thing that comes through for me is that holding space at the core of it is being in connection with someone where there is space for authentic expression to happen. So if you're holding space for someone or you're in a space with someone, at the core of it, it's a space for us to be able to be our true self. And whether that means that you're holding space because someone is needing to cry and authentically express themselves in that way, whether you're laughing, whether you're having a deep conversation, a silly conversation, whatever it is, being in connection with other people and holding space with each other is an opportunity for authentic expression to occur. That's level one, we'll call it. Now let's go deeper. On a deeper level, holding space is also an opportunity for healing to occur. And healing can happen in so many different ways. So I don't necessarily view healing as only related to, let's say, what we might typically think of when it comes to energy healing and, channeling energy, and for someone to experience a channeling of energy. That is definitely part of it, but there's so much more to that. Even with what I just said about having a space to authentically express yourself, that can be healing, especially if you are used to being someone who maybe lived a life in your childhood where you couldn't authentically express yourself, where your emotional energy was not tolerated, or whatever the case may be. To be in a space and to be held in a space where you can authentically express yourself is healing. So that in and of itself was already a deeper level to understand with regards to holding space. Aside from that, when it comes to healing and being in a held space where we are experiencing a healing energy, it's also to be in a place where we're able to receive, where we're able to be seen, where we're able to be heard. So holding space now represents a safe area, a safe zone, a safe space to be in. And in an experience of safety, like if you're in a let's say a support group with people who you feel safe with, that then gives you the opportunity to be able to explore things, conversations, topics, things about yourself, discoveries about yourself that you might not have otherwise explored. And the reason why you are exploring those now is because you feel safe. The space is being held for you. So you are in a safe space to explore, to discover, to uncover. And so in a space that's held for us, that's also where we get to learn more about ourselves, to explore who we truly are, to discover things about our soul, about our gifts, about why we're here. So that's a deeper level of what it means to hold space. Now, the other part of this to understand is that when it comes to holding space, you also have to look at how you hold space for your own self. So, up until this point, I've kind of been talking about it in terms of our relationships with other people, but it's also important to look at how do you hold space for yourself, for your ability to be true to yourself, to be vulnerable with your own self, to be honest with yourself, and let's not kid ourselves. Right now I'm feeling this way, because sometimes we hide from our own self, and not because we're doing it on purpose, but mostly because that's what we learned. We just learned to hide. So we hide from our own self. We hide from the divine. We hide from God. We hide from the angels. We feel like we have to be at a certain level, or be perfect in some way, or prove ourselves in some way in order to be worthy. And so that's something else to explore and to understand when it comes to holding space. It really starts with how we can be authentic and true and vulnerable with our own self and with the divine. That's an important piece here. And I've found that ever since I've kind of developed and expanded in my relationship with God, it feels like I'm able to just be more authentically me. Where I feel like in that relationship with the divine, it's kind of like I don't feel like I have to, you know, show up in a certain way or only express or pray about certain things. It just feels like I can be like, yeah, I don't know. I feel really unclear and uncertain right now. This is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling really frustrated. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And I don't know. This is just how I feel. And feeling like that space is being held for me with the divine. So being held in a space and holding space for others is something that I feel is a natural part of our experience as humans, our experience as souls. It's how we were designed to be in connection and in relation with energy that creates safety, that creates vulnerability, that creates authenticity. And so the more that we are able to show up in that, to represent ourselves in that, to just be in that, the more that we're going to live a life that is truly authentic and aligned to our soul, and aligned to our potential, aligned to who we are meant to be, meaning that we get to live in our purpose, we get to live in our truth. And it's all because we notice and find the spaces where space is held. So again, this is in relationship with your own self, this is in relationship with the divine, and it's also in relationship with other people. And so, as you can see, as you deepen your connection with the divine, your ability to hold space for other people also elevates, gets stronger. And so people then experience their own breakthroughs on a different level. So to me, when we hold space or when we are held in a space, the ultimate outcome is breakthrough. The ultimate outcome is impact, to be impacted in some sort of way. And that's what's going to develop you. That's what's going to elevate you. That's what's going to help you to know more of yourself, to show up in a more authentic way, to know your gifts, to share your gifts. All of those things all stem from this. And so if you're in this space right now where you're like, oh yeah, okay, I can see this and I'm wondering what my next step is, your next step is to continue to develop your relationship with the divine and how you feel held in that relationship between you and God, you and source, you and the divine, whatever you call it. But being held in that space is the first place to start. And then from there, it's going to be the relationship with your own self. And then from there, it's the relationship with other people. And then that continues to grow and elevate as you allow more of that authenticity, vulnerability to come through. Now, for those of you who are maybe in a place in your life or on your journey where you're wanting to show up for other people, I know a lot of people who are here listening in are either healers or desire to be healers or know that they have a bigger calling to be of service in some way. And for a lot of people, that potentially looks like the path of a healer. And I share a lot about being a healer, the different types of healers that exist, your healer archetype, all of that. And I'm really excited to be sharing that I'm bringing forward an opportunity for you to be able to truly lean into what it means to be a healer, and specifically in connection with the angels, of course, because that's it wouldn't be a program from Cristina Aroche if it wasn't related somehow or connected to the angels. And so I'm really excited to introduce you to the Angelic Healing System. And this is a system that I've been developing over the last several years. I've been teaching some form of it since 2019. I'm trying to think. Yeah, 2019. And it's one of those things where over time, I didn't know at the time that I was creating a system. And now that we're here several years later, I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually a system, a way to not only be connected to the angels, but to be connected to the angelic healing frequency. And to know that when you're connected to the angelic healing frequency, that then gets to be translated and be moved through you in the spaces that you hold. So, especially if you're a practitioner or someone who works with people, or you desire to work with people, and honestly, it doesn't even have to be with people. Maybe you work with animals. Maybe you work with the earth. Regardless, if you are someone that you know that there is a light and a love and an outpouring of energy that desires to move through you to make the world a better place, whether it's impacting people directly, animals, or the planet, then the Angelic Healing System is going to support you. This is where I'm going to teach you how to work with the angels to bring supportive energy to whatever environment, to bring supportive and healing energy to whatever space you're holding so that you can make a greater impact with your work. So inside of the Angelic Healing System, you are going to be attuned to angelic healing frequency. You're going to learn about angelic energy healing. You're going to learn about what it means to hold space, specifically in the context of healing. And then we're going to talk about how this gets to be translated in different ways, in different settings, depending on your healer archetype. So this is about understanding how healing can come through in creative expressions, how healing can come through in different ways that you use your gifts. So when you're attuned to the angelic healing frequency, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're just doing hands-on healing, for example. Your words, your voice, what you're speaking out into the world, that is having an impact. That is how you are creating change. So even let's say if you're an author and you're writing a book and you're attuned to this angelic healing frequency, you're aware of this angelic healing system and how it works and how it specifically applies to you based on your healer archetype and based on your gift as a writer, then you're going to know how to utilize this so that when someone is reading your book, and again, this is another way that space is held, is in this connection with the energy that is held in the book. That is where you're going to make a bigger impact and a bigger impression for people to receive exactly what they're meant to receive. Because now you're working with energy on a whole different level, much more intentional, much more purposeful, much more aligned. And so that is what's going to make the biggest difference in moving forward. You can utilize this in whatever way with regards to simply your family or your friends or yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to necessarily put this out on a bigger platform, but it's going to be for you first and foremost, and how you hold space and then grow from there. So I'm really excited for the Angelic Healing System. This is a snippet of the bigger healer program that I teach. So the Angelic Healing System is not the certification. However, you do get a bonus where when you sign up for the Angelic Healing System, you will automatically be eligible for a discount for the bigger healer program, which is where you become certified as an angelic healer. So if you want to take it to the next level, then we can do that when the doors open again. But for now, the Angelic Healing System is a perfect place to start if you are wanting to be introduced and to explore what angelic healing is all about. So I'm really excited. Right now, there is a special offer that is available for you to take advantage of this doors opening experience. So I cannot wait to welcome you into this course. You can find all of the details about the Angelic Healing System in the show notes below this episode. And go check it out. Go see it on my website. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. Contact form on my website or DM me on Instagram. And I can't wait to introduce you to this because it is life-changing. So that is it for the episode today. I would love to hear from you. If you're watching me on YouTube, share a comment below. Let me know what holding space means to you. Let me know how you've experienced it or how you like to hold space for other people. If you're listening to me on a podcast platform, make sure that you rate this podcast, review it, rate it, and that helps so that many other listeners can find this podcast all around the world. And then if you are on YouTube, make sure that you like this video, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel, share this out with your friends and family, and I will see you in the next episode. So as always, I'm sending you so much love and angel blessings, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Thank you once again for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to learn more about the Divine Connection podcast, you can go to CristinaAroche.com/podcast and learn about how you can be featured on the show.